Hey guys, welcome to just outside of the Arctic Circle here in Sweden, where Volvo flew me out here to test drive this. This is the brand new 2025.5 Volvo XC90. And in this video, we're gonna take it for a ride. We're gonna show you what's under the hood. I'm gonna get in the back seat, but not the way back because, well, it's cold out here. And we're gonna see if Volvo has updated their best-selling car in America and how they've done it. So let's start with the new design. I think it's much more handsome. Of course, it still has this Thor's hammer light design. Let me see if I have the key. I have the key, and so maybe I can actually lock it and then unlock it and show it to you. So I'm going to lock it. There you go. And then I'm going to unlock it, and you get this kind of welcome greeting from the Thor's hammer headlights. I also like this kind of crisscross pattern that Volvo has done to the front grille. And this color, I would call it champagne, but I think it's very nice and very elegant, and especially here so far north where it gets light in the winter for only about 6 hours, the color seems to shine. Now, this is the top of the line XC90 T8, and that means that under the hood, you're going to be surprised by this, is a power plant that puts out, get this, 455 horsepower, 0 to 60, well, in about 5 seconds. But here's the crazy part. It's a 2-liter turbo. That's right, it's just a 4-cylinder. And how does Volvo get so much power out of a 4-cylinder? Well, this is a plug-in hybrid, so it's electrified. So there is an additional motor that powers the rear wheels, giving this car a lot more power than a 4-cylinder would normally have. Now, it also gets up to about 33 miles of all-electric range. Volvo is also selling the, let's call it, XC90 Classics while supplies last, at the same time as it's selling this new and refreshed version of the same car. Now, this guy starts at about 58 and can go up to, in this Ultra, $80,000, and of course that depends how you spec it. There are different powertrains, this of course being the top of the line. So let's look at the shape of the car. Basically, it's a 10-year-old car that's been refreshed, and the shape works really well in America because obviously you have 3 rows and a lot of room. And then if the rear seats are down, come on back here, Michael, you'll be surprised by just how much space there is back here. So if it's just 2 people, you could put, well, in my case, 2 Bernese Mountain Dogs in here, along with all your luggage, and have a lot of space. Or if you want, you could put the rear row up. Rear row, that's a mouthful. I have a hard time with that. And then take the kiddos to soccer practice. All right, let's see how I fit in the second row. Michael, you go around there. And let's see how I do here. So obviously Volvo, at least in my mind, makes and does some of the best seats in the automotive world. And this is no exception. These seats are very comfortable. They recline, which is great. I have plenty of headroom. There's this giant full-size sunroof that runs the length of the roof. Over here I can tell I have my own climate control, so I think we're looking at 3-zone climate control. And then look at this. Look at that. What a fancy cup holder. Oh my, look at that. You could fit, well, a Swedish-sized Coke. I'm not sure that the American-sized Coke will fit in there, but it's still very nice. And the leather, actually I don't think it's leather. I think it's some kind of more biodegradable material that looks like leather. And if it is leather, let me know in the comments below. I could get that wrong, but it's very scrumptious. Everything I see, everything I feel back here, including the wood over here, including the Bowers and Wilkins speaker cover, feels very expensive. And then of course my favorite feature is a little privacy screen. You know it's luxury when you got that in the car. Other nice features and nice touches is if you look over here, you have vents for your back seat passengers. And in general, grab handles, great. If you're flogging this thing around the Swedish highways, which we won't be doing because I want to keep my license. I don't know how much they charge here for a ticket. But let's see how the front seat is. Oh, check this out. This is one of my favorite features. I believe that this, I probably have to turn it on, has one of those front leg bolsters that slides forward that gives you leg support. Love that. Love the smell in here. me start it up. So more of a traditional starter. Like I said, this is a refresh. This screen does feel a little bit tacked on between the vents, and these are new, of course. The business manager for Volvo that I talked to said that these are jewel-like. I'll leave that up to you to decide. We have plenty of room, plenty of headroom. Let me see, I can move this back, give me a little bit more light, even though the light is definitely going down already. And I opened up the window. That's not good. It's very cold out there, but I'm sure we have heated seats. There we go. Now I closed it. We do have a very jewel-like gear shifter. Now, there is, of course, as you might know, a new EX90, which is the all-electric version, and that has a much bigger screen. It has a gear shifter right here, but I kind of like this guy. I know the new trend is to open this up for stuff, but there's something really nice and something easy to live with when you do have the shifter right there. I'm going to borrow the camera for a second, Michael, and I'll show you over here. Zoom in a little bit so you can see that we have 56 kilometers of battery range and 590 kilometers of range in general, which feels like a lot, especially since it's kilometers and not miles per hour. Volvo's entertainment system is relatively easy to navigate. They've got these hot buttons down here, for the important stuff. So you've got your radio, Google Assistant, different drive modes that you can change. So you can go hybrid, you can go power, pure off-road, all-wheel drive, battery usage, auto hold. Obviously, you can save the battery for if you're in a city. I love the fact that they have creep on or off. I've really gotten used to not having creep in the electric car. So even though the car is in gear, it should not move, which is really nice. Makes for much more relaxed stoplights. And if you're wondering just how cold it is, the car says it's -2 degrees Celsius. It's not all that cold. Yeah, I think it's actually colder in Colorado now. I was looking at the weather earlier, and the weather was 3 degrees in Colorado. So I came all the way to basically the Arctic Circle in Sweden, and it's freaking warm here. We have a heads-up display. Once again, nice Bowers & Wilkins speaker up there, along with a bigger speaker there. Traditional controls for the wipers, as well as the headlights, which is also nice. You don't have to think about it too much. And then a relatively straightforward control for the drive unit. So let's just go for a short spin and see how this car does. Now, 450 horsepower, that'll move this baby, but I have really fallen in love with driving plug-in hybrids. It's kind of the best of both worlds. Now, engineers will tell you that the problem with plug-in hybrids is that you, in fact, have two powertrains. So you have the traditional internal combustion engine, and in this case, there's a 120 horsepower electric motor on the back to propel you. And that makes for a lot more complexity and the potential for a lot more repairs. Oh, shoot. So one of the things I realized here, which they told us, is in Europe and EU now, you have to have the speed warning. So if you exceed the speed limit, it dings at you. And I haven't even gotten out of the parking lot, and it's already dinged at me. And you can turn that off. But let me see. Speed limit warning turned off with one click. How sweet is that, huh? If you go over here, Michael, it shows you the speed limit, and then, of course, how many kilometers you're doing. And if you exceed that, it'll start dinging at you. But the downside to being able to turn it off is that every time you cycle the car, in other words, every time you stop and get out of the car, it comes back on. And we had a Ineos Grenadier that we owned about this time last year, where it just was incessantly dinging, ding, 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 and the way to turn it off was like 4 menus deep. And I actually sold that car because of that feature, because it was so freaking annoying. So thank you, European government, really love it, and thank you, Volvo, for being able to turn it off with one click. That's very handy. Now, how does the car drive? So we're rolling on, I think these are 22s, and on studded snow tires, which usually, and I've driven them in Colorado, are very noisy and very loud, and you can really feel the road. But right now, this car feels super planted, very comfortable. Steering is nicely weighted. I feel like I'm driving a luxury vehicle. And this, like I said, this car has been pretty much in production for 10 years, which makes it a little bit on the long end of the lifespan of any car, and it of course competes with cars, other 3-row SUVs. Michael, can you think of one right now? My mind is completely like, okay, how about the BMW X5? That might be a good competitor to this. It's also European. So it competes with cars like that. But because it's been in development so long, I think Volvo has really nailed on how well screwed together it is, and it feels very solid, feels very quiet, feels very luxurious. And for all of you Volvo fans, yes, I know they're owned by Geely, which is a Chinese company. Just hit that elephant in the room, might as well talk about that. But this one is built right here in Sweden. So if you look at where a car is built or born as what nationality it is, then this is a very Swedish Volvo. In general, I really like this car. Let me see if I can. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm just extending the little seat thing, I believe, right now. Lots of adjustability. Yeah, I like that. Oh, there you go. See, it shows you. Look at that. So you can see that I was actually adjusting it. And probably you could do it this way. No, that's just showing you which way it's going. Volvo has, I think, some of the best seats in the business. Full disclosure, once upon a time, I did own V70R station wagon, and loved that car. I had a manual transmission, and I bought it because I have a bad back, and the seats just do such a great job in conforming to my body shape. And that could be something that's personal to me, but in general, I always find Volvo's easy to live with. Now, I'm going to see what it drives like in all-electric mode, so maybe go there, and let me put maybe pure. Yep, the engine just turned off, and that's all electric now. Let's see how it goes if I'm just in pure electric mode. Now, this is an all-wheel drive car. Keep that in mind. But sometimes when you have a plug-in hybrid and you go only all electric, then you lose some of the, ooh, it's rear-wheel drive there, a little bit of wheel spin. So that's floored. So yeah, certainly not, let's try hybrid. Flick it over. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. Just almost exceeded the speed limit there. I know in Finland they look at your tax return when you're caught speeding, and they ticket you based on your income. I don't think that's the case here in Sweden, but I certainly don't want to find out. But if you are in pure electric mode, you will have a lot less oomph as the car accelerates. Well, guys, it's getting dark, and it's only, what time is it? 4 o'clock here. Oh, good region. I can really feel that. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate the fact that you guys watch our little reviews. And coming up soon, Volvo's going to let me drive the new, not XC90, but EX90, the all-electric one. And we're going to take it on a frozen lake, so we're going to get to hustle it around. So stay tuned for that. And keep in mind, if you want to see more TFL reviews and see me freezing my you-know-what off in Sweden, just head on over to alltfl.com for more news, views, and Michael real-world reviews. Thank you for the camera work with my buddy Michael, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.